We're the Wilsons. I'm Patty, Drex, Scout, and David. We've been coming 5 years this November.
Like my friend Brent, he kept asking me to come to camp. And at first I was just kind of like, I already have a church. But I decided to go, and as soon as like the first day that I went there, or the first day I was at camp, I absolutely just loved it. In my whole life I never felt that close to God than when I was at that camp.
And I will say on that Elevate weekend, again, all of those seeds were planted with us by different people along the way. When I walked in the door and I walked into the worship service and I could see all the youth at the front of the building, I mean, there was no doubt God was moving. No doubt that God was moving across the room. I had not felt something like that probably since I was a child. And it just was, it was home. I mean, we were home at that moment.
And we've been coming here ever since.
And we've never looked back. Once we got going in the church community, one of the first sermons that we heard was about making a commitment for the new year with tithing. And my first reaction was, I've heard it, I know it, like I can check out for this service. But something that I learned that day was that it wasn't just a commitment for my finances, it was a commitment of trust. And it was something that allowed me to extend my level of trust with my family, with my finances, with my marriage, with my children, with my past, with my future, with everything that encompassed my giving, our giving. And before we knew it, we'd been here 6 months, and then the kids went to their camp, came back again, just on fire for the Lord, and changed people, changed young people. So I'm starting to see a peace that I hadn't seen before, hadn't experienced before. And I'm seeing it more and more, and we're getting more invested and more invested. So I'm seeing that it's not just 10% of my finances, but it's 100% of everything that I've given to God, and that He is giving back to me a layer of peace that I've never had my whole life. So I think in that process, I learned that tithing became a commitment of accountability, which became a commitment of trust. We would soon face the 4 hardest years of our life. We lost 4 family members, close family members, not distant family members, but very, very close: mom, dad, brother, stepsister. We faced challenges with our teenagers. We faced challenges with work. We faced challenges with our home. Never would we have imagined all of these things that would be laid out ahead of us in the next 4 years, or almost 5 years. David's surgery, he hasn't been really paid since May. So again, going back almost 5 years ago, all of these things with tithing and discipline, putting that into practice, we've been able to live peacefully knowing God has it. Thinking about trust, I don't think I was good at it 5 years ago. I think I had a lot of doubts. I had just a lot of weariness when it came to trust with my children, with my family, with where I was spending my time, where I was spending my money. Just really, it encompassed everything. But if I could tell somebody something about trust, first of all, if you're inviting somebody to church, keep inviting them. Keep asking. If they're not coming, keep asking. I'm so thankful for our friends that didn't give up. I'm thankful for Drexel's friend that didn't give up. And I would say that camp, letting your kids explore themselves, letting your children grow in God, doesn't make them less yours. It makes them more God's. And I didn't know that, and I didn't get that. I didn't get that trusting God with my kids made them more God's, and in turn made them more mine. So if I could tell Patty from 5 years ago, you're doing a good job, you're making a good decision, let them grow, let them go a little bit, let them explore an environment that will grow them and teach them and help them be these wonderful people that we get to spend our time with every day. and they'll end up in our community, and they'll end up in our church or other churches or schools, or hopefully teaching people along the way what they got to learn. So I think that just trusting that phone call from Bobby, trusting that Drex was going to be good, and then that they were going to be good at the camp that they were going to. You got to do it. You got to trust it, because it's the right decision, and it just so makes them more God's.